hasn't made our space here.
Yeah, I see.
Check.
See.
All the shooter shirts in there.
I hope. We'll need them. Yeah, quick turn as we get Notre Dame at their place. A team that is got some very talented players. They're a young basketball team, but yet got a couple guys in Gibbs and Mooney who have been through the battles and the wars, and I've enjoyed watching them on tape. This is a very talented offensive team. They're a little unusual from the standpoint that their bigs are elite shooters. Mooney's a terrific shooter. Harvey is kind of an undersized 4 at 6'5", 6'6". You know, and he's so good off the bounce. He shoots it from 3, and you know, and then you get a couple guys at Gibbs and Hub who are tremendous penetrators, and they do a lot setting those guys up. So a team that's very, very good offensively, a team that is very, very good on the offensive glass. They've been making their way, you know, getting 39% of their missed shots back. That's helped them win games. So we know we've got to shore that area up, and then we've got to sit down and guard. And you know, they win with very, very efficient offense, and we have to be very good defensively.
It's your first game in a hostile, true road game in a hostile environment. Some young guys that you kind of wanted to get them ready for.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge. I mean, we've always taken great pride in being able to go on the road and compete at a high level, and we're going to do it in this challenge. And Notre Dame's very, very good. So you know, we're expecting to go in there and compete, and you know, we're not treating it any different than we would any other game. It just happens to be on the road, and we've got to learn to handle and execute and take care of the ball. And we've talked at length since last night's game about doing those things. And you know, there is a certain toughness that you have to win on the road, and that's something we want to establish with this group.
How much can a young team grow in its ability to guard, and how quickly can they do it?
I hope quicker than you know, as quickly as possible. I think the one thing that happens is, you know, you've got a completely different concept than most of them are ever used to, and you know, help side defense away from the ball. Unless you're a point guard, you're away from the ball about 98% of the time. And learning to guard and see both man and ball, those concepts are very challenging, very difficult, and especially when they haven't done it before. So we've got to continue to work at it. We get better at it every single day. You know, we spend every single day guarding one-on-one and guarding the basketball, and you know, I think a lot of our immaturity shows in our fouls. A lot of them are slapping and just reaching instead of making people finish, and you know, we're addressing that issue as well. So we're getting better, and you know, I think, you know, Sama did some good things last night, helping us protect the rim. We take a lot of charges, but you know, we've got to get the new guys taking charges. It's the veterans that are taking all the charges. So but we're getting there. We're getting there.
How do you assess Adonis's progress?
You know, it's just he's been good. You know, I think he's stamina is an issue right now. I mean, you're talking about a young man who for 9 months hasn't done anything, and it's not like with a knee that you go out and say, hey, you know, get a little extra work on the treadmill. And you know, he's literally got to play himself back into shape. You know, with the way we play, we can't wait for him all the time. And yet, you know, I do like his presence at 265 pounds, and he can throw his weight around and occupy space. And so I've been fairly pleased. Yet, you know, I know I can't want too much too quickly with him.
Normally, this is a unique situation with only 1 day between games, but seeing as you guys played 3 in 3 days, how does that help you guys in preparing on a short off days?
Yeah, you know, it's you we feel like we've got a great opportunity to prepare. The 14 hours we had in Maui was a little quick, but at least we get on the court with our guys and can spend a little time addressing what Notre Dame does. But it's something we didn't have any control over. TV sets it, and I think we got through yesterday, which was the important piece to kind of getting back on Central Time, and now we can feel pretty good. We had a good practice this morning, and get our minds right for Notre Dame.
Guess how different maybe is this Notre Dame team? Because Matt Farrell and Bonzi Colson were like a lot of Notre Dame guys, there forever. It seemed like.
Yeah, and the one thing I think that I faced Notre Dame. They beat me on a tip-in with .6 on the clock. Rex Pfluger, who's still there, I can't wait to see him in the handshake line, but he gives me nightmares. But yeah, Farrell and the team we faced was really, really good. And Bonzi and those guys are probably have their jerseys on, at some point there. The success they had. This team is younger, and they do a lot of the same things. They just are young and doing it. And Mike's teams have always been extremely well coached on the offensive end. He's always got that versatile forward, kind of undersized. Colson, was a handful. Now they've got DJ Harvey. So they're molding those guys into what a true Notre Dame player is, and they've always got that 4 or 5 man who could really shoot it, and that's no different this year.
I mean, you mentioned Maui and Zach away, zone away. This Notre Dame's kind of had a similar thing with Mike Bray. Is that just maybe another example of what you're trying to
Oh, absolutely. I may be mistaken, but Mike's approaching 20 years there, and that's that longevity is been unrivaled in terms of the success that he's had, the culture he's built, the type of recruits he goes after. His system is well into play, and they know exactly what they're looking for, and when they go recruiting, and he's always had really, really good guards. That's no different this year. He's starting a true freshman that's going to be terrific, and that pattern continues for Notre Dame. So no question, it's a great program, and it's been that since Mike's taken over.
It seemed like you did not run as much out of the pinch post yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong. What drives that? Zone.
We ran the same offense. We just made a little variation in terms of that. We still send cutters through, and we just redirect where the ball goes a little bit against some zone. But yeah, there wasn't it's very difficult to play through the pinch when there's a guard sitting on top of it. It's a little different when you're in man. Notre Dame plays both man and zone, and so we'll expect to see some variations of that. But yeah, the backside, the two-man game part of our man offensive spread's been very, very effective for us.
So Anthony Higgs out there on the floor wearing the same outfit as everybody else, but it looks like he's still not practicing.
No, he's not. He hasn't been cleared yet. We're still. He's doing a lot of things with Fletch. He's doing some base fundamental shooting with just flips and getting the ball back in his hand, get him acclimated. But again, like Adonis, when you have a lower extremity injury, it's not like you can throw him on a treadmill or whatever and beat that injury up. But he hasn't been cleared yet, so he's back lifting now, and that's encouraging. And we'll wait till we get the final go-ahead before we put him back out.
Is Alan Griffin where you thought he would be at this point? It looks like he's come in and scored well, shot well, got some rebounds. Is he about where you thought, or what have you gotten out of him?
Yeah, Alan's starting to really play well, and I've been really pleased with his play other than his turnovers. And he's a gifted offensive player, man. He can really get it going every time it leaves his hand. I think it's going in. I think he's starting to get acclimated a little bit defensively. Yesterday he was much better defensively than he's been. And again, he's a tough kid. He goes and chases balls. He's instinctive, and his role will continue to increase. And I'm excited about his development.
Looks like you guys are versatile enough, whether you can bring, Tevian off the bench or Samba or whoever, to, spell some of these guys so they don't play long stretches of minutes. Is that something with your style of offense that you want to make sure that you have fresh legs on the court at all times?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we can't lose sight of in there is we can't get sloppy. We've got to have a good balance. We've got to be, there's lineups we put out there where we've shot it quick or turned it over, and we've got to make sure we've got the right balance there. But yeah, I think we're the more balanced we become offensively, the better our team's obviously going to become. And we've still got to find that balance with Georgie. He's proven he can be an elite scorer. We probably missed him 5 or 6 times early yesterday, wide open, and in the middle of the zone. When that ball's not going from three-point land, we've got to be able to find him because he can really pass as well. So we're still continuing to work on that balance. But yeah, I think there's advantage in depth.
Did Samba show you enough yesterday to get him more playing time? What goes into the thought about getting him more?
Yeah, I think matchups. I think opportunity as he continues to grow. And again, I say this: he's had a very, very steep learning curve, not being here all summer, just getting through the physical part of things, of not having conditioning in the weight room. But he's getting better, and he's starting to do some things and feel more relaxed, where he's not thinking all the time. He's just reacting to basketball. And as he continues to do that, we saw glimpses. I mean, catch balls and duck them. He's going to block some shots, and we need that.
Missing the summer, can he totally catch up this season?
No, it's very difficult. It's very difficult, just from the physical standpoint. I think if you just physically look at the pictures of what Fletch does with guys before and after, we're not in that same type of growth building in terms of your body. There's a mental aspect to that as well, that Fletch puts those guys through. And that part isn't gained now. He's going to have an off season to do that. Fundamentally, he's catching up. He's starting to understand what we do, our simple footwork things offensively, sprinting to the rim, out of screens, and when to slip and do those things. He's catching up too. And I think he's starting to feel a little more comfortable at the defensive end in terms of seeing both man and ball and doing some of those things as well.
You tie a program record yesterday with made threes. Is that the kind of thing, hey, if they're going in, I'm fine with it? Or, is that the kind of thing you want to live on in offense?
Well, I want to shoot them. There's no doubt. If I can get 3 instead of 2, I'm gonna get 3. I think the one thing that we have to have balance, and but I also think we've got really good shooters, and I think we've got guys shooting them that every time they let it go, you think it's going in, they think it's going in, and I think we can continue to exploit that. What we've got to continue to do is not just settle. We got to be able to drive the ball a little bit. 26 assists yesterday. I'd take that every day. That's what I would like to see. Because we made plays where it was inside out, guys driving it, guys made the extra pass. Those shots have a tendency to go in more than playing with the ball and holding it and massaging it and then shooting it out of rhythm 3. So I take 26 assists every day, and if those are 3s or 2s, I like the 3 ball. There's no doubt about that.
Keeping Georgie on the floor is always a priority with the team that feeds so much on the offensive glass. How important is it for him to actually not be in foul trouble?
Yeah, it's a big piece of it, and Georgie's got to be better. It's the one thing Georgie's got to continue to. Georgie's got to learn to use his body instead of his arms and his hands, and he's a kid who seeks contact, but we've got to get more from him. We've got to get more from Kipper. We've got to get more from our front line guys. I was so proud of Io yesterday because we've been talking about guards rebounding and helping, and he made a conscious effort to just go seek the ball and go chase it. And 9 rebounds for a guard. Then you add in his 9 assists and his 0 turnovers. That's a pretty impressive floor game, and that starts filling stat sheet pretty nicely, and so we've got to get everybody to rebound. But you know, Iowa's performance was really good yesterday. We've been leaning heavy on AJ and DeMonte in that area. I still want Trent. I still want Dre to help. And then as those big guys, you know, start banging on bodies, those guys got to come clean it up.
Is that the biggest key against Notre Dame, is to keep them off that offensive glass?
Yeah, when you're getting 39-40% of your misses back, that's a really, really good number. And you know, a team that's shooting 41% from the field on the season, you start getting those many misses back, giving yourself that many opportunities. That's what I want us to be. You know, I want to be that. And but yeah, we got to keep them off the glass, and that's a big key to their success. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.